Okay, I'm done playing that. We have some cool stuff tonight. We're gonna get this thing started. First thing tonight. This is episode number 26. I got some big guests on. Shawn Mayo's back in the house. We're gonna be talking about excess power, obviously, cells, and something else we're gonna bring tonight. The 40 amp and 45 amp are back. You can start ordering now. We should have them in the warehouse by the end of the week or first thing next week. They will ship out. We have plenty. 40 amp, 45 amp cells are on the site. So make sure you hit those up. There is a good amount, but you know how fast we go through them. And we do have some 35 amp cells left on discount. Tonight, Shawn is allowing us to give away a 35 amp bank. Yes, we're going to be giving that away tonight. 35 amp, 6 cells. You'll comment the word amp hours, 2 words, amp hours. We also have here with us Dean Baptiste. We're going to be, we're already starting to get suited up, trailers loaded, vehicles clean for the show this weekend, Music Wars in Apopka, Florida. We have him on tonight. What else we got? We're going to be announcing the Black Diamond sponsorship winners. We'll have that. Winner of the Death Bounce order total. We had a whole truck, 24 pallets come in. We did a live, crazy amount of product. And I said, whoever can guess the total cost of the order to the dollar, closest to dollar without going out, wins a radar detector and a swag kit. We're going to be announcing that. Also, proud to announce we are the newest distributor and online seller for King boxes. These are the guys making Rhinotype boxes, really nice ones, and also all your center console boxes for trucks that you can load with woofers, cup holders, the whole works. So King boxes in the house, orders on the way. Vehicle selector is almost done. Yes, you'll be able to go to bigjeffaudio.com, drop the year, make, and model, and then you will be able to pull up what fits your vehicle. This is huge for us. It was one of the requirements we had to do with Kenwood and some other brands that I can't talk about yet that will be on the way. Yes, we are getting bigger and bigger, but we have that going. You'll be able to put your car in there, and it will populate everything available for your car. We talked about Music Wars. That is November 11th and 12th. We'll be talking about that. And like every week, get Drunk Text by Big Jeff. Text the word drunk to 737-244-5333. And we have a winner every week. This week's winner is Anthony Jones. Yes, you got yourself an amp kit. Contact 737 Big Jeff. We'll get that shipped out. All right, I did enough talking. Hopefully everybody's on the right to YouTube. Let me do some more shout outs and we'll get this thing started. Deviants in the house, Ben Harrison, David Rivera, Lime Up Shaw, Juan's in the house, Mike A, Mr. Tatted, Bobby Biker. I don't want to mess that up, my friend. We got a lot of people in the house. Awesome night. Ben, let's get this shit started.
Big Jeff Audio. Big Jeff Audio. Big Jeff. Big Jeff. Big Jeff. Big Jeff. Big Jeff Audio.
It's Big Jeff Audio in the chair. Have a seat and relax. Don't be going nowhere. Before we kick it off, you gotta do one thing. Grab your chain, your shades, and your pinky ring. Got guests coming on, they be giving advices. Check out the website for them dope-ass prices. Lowest in town, yeah, that's a fact. Doing hair tricks like a maniac. What other podcasts give away this much? I'm saying during the week and at the end of the month. Shout out to your team, analyze the best. The show is Big Sound, hosted by Big Jeff. Got the Cuban link on, it's the flashy type. Deviant for life, I'm saying smash the like. Alright, let's start the show.
Big Jeff Audio.
We go. I got Mr. Dean Baptiste in the house, Mr. Stay Lit, and Shawn Mayo wearing the Team Cuban Link chain. Dean, I'm gonna have to, man, we got to fight. Where's the chain? You didn't get one set? All right. I guarantee this weekend I'm coming with a couple thousand. I got you. I'm gonna give you one for every day of the week.
My chain probably in my bag, but yeah.
Probably is. Okay, so Dean, actually tonight, you're my co-host. We're gonna be interviewing Shawn. as my
Okay.
co-host, we talk about the show, but you're my co-host tonight. So, okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna try this out. Appreciate everybody on. Listen, if you're a little confused, we have most of everybody right now is on the Big Sound by Big Jeff podcast on YouTube. If you logged in on the Big Jeff Audio YouTube or the Facebook, do me a favor, click the link. Ben, throw the link up there one more time. And get over to the new podcast YouTube. We're trying to put everybody in one spot so everybody can see everybody. And if you're in there, just comment the word I'm here. Just say I'm here this way. Okay. So I got some big people in the house tonight. We were talking about man, there's so much to talk about. First thing I want to say, Shawn Mayo was actually our first person on night one. You remember that? We started a podcast overnight, literally.
Yep.
And you were one of our first people on, and we had a good time, and I was hooked ever since. And we've been doing it here after week. We took off last week because we moved it back around to kind of please everybody. We are giving away, Shawn, a bank of 35 amp excess power cells tonight. Yes. So one of y'all in here now is going to win 35 amps of power, 6 cells. You all need to comment the word amp hours, 2 words, AMP space hours, and we're going to pick a winner later. Dean, we're going to be talking to Shawn about stuff coming in. We got everybody get ready for Black Friday. And Ben, just put up our picture I gave you just real quick. Just give everybody a real quick glimpse. Oh, take it out. All right. We're going to talk about that in a little bit here. Listen, let's do this. We're going to take a quick, everybody's in here. Make sure you comment the word amp hours. Make sure you hit the like button right now. I see the numbers growing up. Thank you. But make sure you hit the like. I work off likes. And make sure you're on Big Sound by Big Jeff YouTube so you can all see each other. We're going to take a quick video break. We're back with Shawn Mayo and my co-host, Dean Baptiste, tonight. My first co-host.
Oh, the first time was a hit.
I'll say he's the only salesman that makes the order for me and knows what I have in inventory before I even know.
Oh, the second time was even better.
I have to tell this, and it's going to be a wonderful story for you, Keith. So I had a customer that had bought a D3100 that had it in his boat on their property. Well, they had sunk the boat by accident.
Hey, he's funny.
And check this out. They're oopsie proof. Piece of junk.
Oh, he knows his stuff.
Positive of this one and put it with the positive of this one. Those two ends. So it's going to be just like 2 batteries in parallel. The same way you did if you added a bank of caps or if you added a regular AGM to the back of the vehicle.
Oh, ladies, gentlemen, and bass heads of the world.
But let's everybody, Shawn Mayo, excess power, full tilt audio, and now also sundown, right? Man, right? And that wasn't even that long ago, man. You're looking good right now, man. That's awesome. So I want to get first to one of those videos that my guys made where you were trashing a battery. I know what it is. We sell, I don't know how many, but we sell a lot of those things.
A lot.
Yeah. What was the purpose of that? Tell everybody what that was about.
So the thing is with the UC31, so a long time ago, there was a lot of people going around on social media saying that they were potentially dangerous, that they weren't functioning, they weren't, drop proof. We obviously claimed that they were very, very tough to hurt in any way. And we had a lot of people saying, oh, they're going to get hurt. The B stock ones. Remember the whole conversation, Jeff, about, oh, they've got some dents in it. One of them had a hole in it. It's like, well, they're right, but there's nothing like they're cosmetic. Like what you don't realize is that there's so many things you can do these and be fine. You can stick them underwater. You can toss them off the dock. So I was like, you know what? I got this one right here. Let's just walk here and have some fun. So I just chucked it off the back and then it still worked. I've got a video of me hitting one with an axe in our fire pit just repeatedly and can't even open it up. It's ridiculous how strong those are.
So it's crazy because I'd have to look up, dude. We've sold so many of those beat stocks, man. It's ridiculous. And you still get a guy every so often that, pulls up an article. They're gonna blow your car up and everything else. But those things have been crazy, and I everybody has loved those things. Dean, you ever worked with one of those UC31s?
I've worked with people's cars who've had it.
Right.
I've
So
never
the cool
used
thing
it
about
myself.
it is it could start your car quickly, but it's not a battery like that. You have to put it in line with another battery. Okay.
Right.
And
It's like a bank, basically. A
right.
little, yeah.
And then it also has
Yeah.
built-in Bluetooth, right? And you download the app, you can actually know the status, the amp pull. You can get a whole report on your battery. So that's the original reason that an installer, a mechanic, can go in there and basically get a whole BIOS on if you've been naughty or nice. Okay. But at the
Gotcha.
same time, part of it too is when you first put it in, you got to put it in a mode basically to get it going. All right. So I can't tell you how many people get in, oh, this shit don't work, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, slow down. All right. Here you go. Read this, download that, real simple. And then next, it's the best thing in the world.
Yep.
And I don't know. And then I don't remember on an average, the B stocks, I mean, I don't know, $160 or you can't beat what it does. And
It's
incredible. But yeah, the talk is crazy. Floyd says, how does the excess power cells compare to the Shaniqua? What Shaniqua? I know her. No, what is it? The Shenquans? I've never even heard of those.
So a Shinquan is just another DIY cell that's out there on the field. I'm not sure where they get pulled from. They're
right.
They're used to. I could be wrong. I don't like to compare lithium cells versus ones that aren't ours, to be honest, because the last thing I want to do is accidentally insult somebody else's cell. When multiple cells work for multiple purposes, for example, you could go with a bank of 40s or you could go with a bank of 35s. They're both going to work for you, but I'm not going to down talk one just to say the other. What I do in that situation is say, hey, look at our honestly, especially with lithium, every year it's like every company drops a new lithium. Oh, this is better than last year's. It's like, damn, bro, I just bought this one. Like, it's like, man, I just invested all this money. And it's like, think about this. So like we've sold over, Jeff, what's it probably at least minimum 10,000 LTO sales in 4 years.
Wait, which year? Because
right.
Yeah, because
these have been
we're like about, well, if we get all of them in, we're each quarter almost, right? So you got a couple thousand each quarter. So yeah, it's up there. It's pretty crazy.
I mean, and you're talking about
my mind, really.
We've had 4+ years, and that's just officially 4+ years of those sales and how many we've sold. And we've had this long with very little failures. I think
how many returns? So let's just say on an average being 10,000. Let's say 10,000, good number. That's probably a little bit low, but it's close, right? In 10,000,
I mean, to be honest, looking at industry standard of
and it's probably because people weren't using a balancer, so it vented. Usually you could tell, and I could see what else they bought, and they didn't buy the rest of the stuff, and that's usually what it is, honestly. Or you get somebody who wants to sneak one in that's like 5 years old, right, and act like they just got it. And there's ways to tell. Toe Goat, I think you're the first time seeing you in here. I greatly appreciate it. Dropped in to say hi and say I'm stoked that I'll drive away. Togo, I agree with you 100%. I didn't know how things were going to react when I did the Big Jeff Comes Clean, but went better than I thought. I really didn't have to do it, but I wanted to reach out to my faithful customers and let them know what was going on, and I'm glad it's really behind us for the most part. You still got some riffraff out there. You're going to have some haters, and it is what it is. That's why we wear our chains. We wear our hater blockers and we move on. So thank you. Thank you for the channel. Everybody, if you're in here right now, we are trying to get everybody over to Big Sound by Big Jeff YouTube. And we're doing this for a reason so everybody can see everybody's comments. The problem is when we're on 5 different channels, you got 10 here, 20 there, 15 here, 30 there. Everybody can't see everybody. So there's a link and make sure you get on Sound by Big Jeff YouTube. And if you go there, you'll see we have, right now, it's showing 65 people in here, which is great, and it keeps growing. Make sure you get there. Juan, big supporter. Shawn, Juan is huge for me. The guy's even going to shows in his area. I send him out swag, and he's really giving it out. He's taking pictures. He's doing videos. Man, he is a champ. He actually sent me this shirt he made me. Big Jeff Audio, Cuban link, Team Cuban, real big. He says, are lithium batteries that are compatible with stock electrical 12.6 volts good as the ones that are charged higher voltage? Great question.
So one, I love good constructive questions. Two, it's hard to say because with a higher voltage range, and I'm going to use the LTO cells for example, or a Power S6, you get a higher voltage range, which generally things like starters and amplifiers work better at 15.5 if they can handle it versus 12.9. However, in the situation of most vehicles, especially newer cars, as we've all kind of seen, are very, very, I hate to use the term pissy, but it's kind of what they are. With higher electrical, higher amperage, it's not as easy to integrate a higher voltage set output or a regulator or an alternator. So you kind of have to choose that. But to say that a vehicle that can sustain a 15.5 volt load, like an S6 or like a 40 amp hour bank, is going to be stronger than most of the time than the same amp hour at 12 volts because you get more drop, for example. That's why you see a lot of SPL guys that do cardio competitions. You'll see them hiked right at 15.7, 15.6 because, like, I know like the Sundown Salt amplifiers, I think the Defpon's AAK amplifiers, a lot of other companies that I've worked with, I know Sound Digital as well, a lot of other companies, amplifiers, they like that 15.7 range. And that's kind of why you see that. It's because you get an optimal point, but you still can have a little bit drop to stay above 13, 14 volts. But again, if you're on the alternator where you don't want to spend $1,000 and mess with electrical and potentially void your warranty on a new vehicle, a PCM controlled alternator that can go to 12.6 to 13.3 and hop around, you're still getting 5,000 watts worth of power with an S5. So it's kind of a slam dunk. They're kind of here nor there. It's like, can you fit a bigger tire underneath a smaller fender? Well, yeah, you have to cut. It's kind of a how much can you go sort of thing.
Right. Yeah, no, 100%. And, when people ask, and we're going to get to you, Steve, keep his comment up there. When people ask me, it's like, one, space and budget, right, Dean? I mean, you got to have an area you can fit stuff. That's big, right? And then second is, what's your budget, man? Because I know in the Yukon, we did 100 and something cells. That ain't cheap. Okay.
It's all about your application as well, though.
Yeah,
What do you have? What power do you need required for your battery bank? So
right.
yeah.
If you're gonna go lithium, right, you're gonna need a balancer. Okay, 100%. And you better get yourself a lithium charger because very so often you want to condition these things.
Absolutely.
That's how you get the longevity. And that's huge. Steve Rogers in the house. Thank you for coming on. If you run lithium, do you need to delete Underwood battery? Excuse my ignorance, please. Do you need to delete?
You don't need to delete one. So there's a lot of options that the Big Jeff crew offers. Like, for example, if they sell you a Power S5, right? Let's just use that as a good example. It's a hot seller. It's a big seller for us at XS. They sell you a Power S5 to go in the back. It's 5,000 watts. And you're like, well, I don't really want to keep my AGM. It's old. It's a sealed lead acid. It came with the car. God knows it's not helping anything. I want to either delete it or upgrade it. What you can do is go to our Superbank series, which is our SB500 series, 34, 34R, 48, 65, 47, all the way down the line. Jeff's Crew's offering. They're in stock every day. And that can give you 1,500 plus cranking amps, and it rides right along safe-wise with that Titan. So that's a good option under $500, to be honest. And especially, I'm not going to say any exact prices, but Black Friday's coming up, and those deals are spicy on those. So kind of keep an eye on that. So something that if you're looking for a cost-effective something to put under the hood to run with your lithium, man, you're not going to find anything else better for that price range.
This is a great question, John Nath.
Yeah,
and
very good.
I'm interested to see how you're going to answer this, Sean.
Me too.
What is the difference between the Excess Power Yinglong and the Blue Yinglong?
So the Blue Yinlongs, as far as I know, the Blue Yinlongs are a previous model. So even if, like when I first started seeing quote-unquote Yinlongs around 6 to 8 years ago, it probably was around 6 at this point, they were blue. And we've all seen the original wrappers have different logos, and they change from time to time. Even the factories that make these cells have different grades, have different wrappers, have different colors. And a lot of times it's tradition that carries this, because here's the thing. If a company in China made cells that were white, that were 40s, people wouldn't identify that as a Yinlong cell like they would a blue wrapper. It's almost like tires are black. You think of a rubber tire as a black tire. If I made it green, it would throw you off. So the same idea of, it's almost a tradition out of those places to make those that color. We just prefer our unwrapping, one, because it's easier from identification standpoint, and two, when you see that wrapper, I see a 4-year warranty from a company that's doing lithium longer than anybody else in the United States for mobile electronics. And we sell thousands of them. We have heavy warranty. We have distributors who not only sell the cells and say, hey, see you later. You got guys like, again, the Big Jeff Crew sells balancers, sells the kits, sells Superbanks to go with them, sells the customer service aspect with it, goes to shows. Like, for example, Toys for Tots. You guys sponsor Toys for Tots in Nashville. You guys have done a lot here. And not only on top of just sell performance, but it also trickles down into distributors, into knowledge, into
100%.
support of the organizations. Because the thing is, that's what sometimes bothers me about people. It's like, man, you don't realize how much distributors and manufacturers do to keep the orgs, keep the world, and the whole idea of demoing, going to shows, support the industry that supports them. And that's one
Right.
of the things that those cells
And
represent.
we brought in, we started with the 6S Heltec, and the problem is it's 2 amp. And when we start selling 12s, 24s, and bigger, you need bigger. So we brought in, which is a cool one from Heltec. It's a 10 amp, but it'll actually do from like 4S all the way up. Okay. So that one model, which is only $100, will do it all. And while you brought up shows, we got Dean Baptiste in here co-hosting me tonight. Dean, what's going on this weekend, man? We're getting ready, aren't we? Ben,
This
put it up
weekend we
on
got the
Music Wars,
Musical
man.
Wars card show. Yep.
This weekend, we're going out there, and like always, we're gonna be shooting video. I'm gonna have the drone up. We're gonna be there giving out stuff. We're gonna be representing with what we're gonna. I want to say it's the Caribbean posse, right? We're gonna be representing all the Caribbean. We're gonna be stoked and excited. And Shawn, let me ask you this, because this comes up all the time. What is the difference in all this lithium right now? Because I see all the time people popping up and they said it to us. Oh, well, that's $400, but I can get this on Amazon deep cycle. They don't even realize that. I can get this 80 amp lithium for $150 shipped to my door. Man, explain to these people what that is at $150 on Amazon.
So lithium can be made obviously really cheap. There's cheap derivatives, and I'm going to use Amazon as an example. And most of those batteries on Amazon I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. Again, not my product, not my brand, not my problem. But what I can tell you is that, like, for example, I've had a couple people send me batteries they're finding off Amazon for $200-300 that are 60 amp hour, and they say, oh, well, this isn't a case for 60 amp hour. Why would I pay $400 for a bank of cells that are 40 amp hour when I can buy 60 amp hour for this? What they don't realize is that not that companies are being dishonest, that they're misleading or anything like that, but that these companies are marketing towards companies like fishing stuff. Like Dakota Lithium, for example, makes batteries that are good for trolling motors and solar and camping and stuff like that.
Pull, right? Deep cycle.
Yep.
When we're trying to just nail
it.
Well,
and that's exactly what it is too, is that those things can do an amp, 2-3 amps for a long time. And in their applications, I'm sure I can't tell you firsthand, but I'm sure most of those batteries have nothing wrong with them. But for what we do, we demand a very, very heavy abuse environment. We require the most stable lithium to be able to do that and do it long term. So the fact that your lithium cells can, by the way, burp over 13,000 watts off a single bank of 45s laying on a bench and live to tell about it for years and years and years and years and years, less than 20 pounds, it's just hard to even understand how much that's worth.
Right, of course. And everybody, if you're chiming in, make sure if you don't see all the comments, it's because most of us are on the Big Sound by Big Jeff YouTube, the new one. There's a link on here right now. Switch over, subscribe, and watch us there. You'll be able to see everybody's comments. Dean, what you running in the car? What are you doing for power?
I actually run C-Max right now in my car. The C-Max cells. I used to run Yanglongs years ago, but I actually run the C-Max now.
Now, you're at what charging? You're just regular 12 to 13?
Yeah, 12, but I rest around 15. I have a 240 amp hour.
What we need to do is, we got something coming. It's going to be here before Black Friday. We've already done a bunch of pre-sales. I'd love to get that in there. Hey, Ben, pop up those pictures real quick. We'll get to Juan in a second because he's bringing it up. You all are seeing it first. There's the Big Jeff 22 amp. And this is perfect for you, Dean, because this is the normal, 12 to 14 voltage. Pop it in there, positive, negative. Don't have to do anything else. You don't need anything else, and you can add as many as you want on there. We still take a pre-orders on deal all the way through Black Friday, and we'll be shipping here. So that's a big thing. Shawn, let me ask you this. Can you discuss the discharge and charge rates of these lithium cells and how they impact car audio performance? Like, what makes this stand out?
Yeah. So if you remember the old days of large AGM banks, Dean, I know you remember. Jeff, you remember the old days of like when you have 20 Group 31, even our batteries, even our AGMs, they'll be like,
I used to run the D31s.
Yep. Even when I first started, I had eight group 31 D3100s in mine. And it's like, man, I've got 2,000 amp hour or whatever. And I was like, I thought, nothing can stop my voltage. As soon as I go to hit it on 10,000 watts, that bad boy hits 12.4. And I'm like, what the heck? Because the discharge rating, and again, AGMs are fantastic. Most of our sales still come from AGMs because most of the world is not in tune to the curve technology like lithium. They're moving, but it's like anything else. That's a very slow pace. And AGM still takes most applications, and it's still the best choice for most applications. But again, like technology, we're slowly moving towards lithium and towards energy storage technology that's more advanced than AGM batteries. But as far as what we're talking about here, it's like those may be 1, 2C, that don't have a lot of amperage behind them as far as like what they drop. They'll be 2,000 amp hour, but they won't drop. The difference is when you have a 40 amp hour bank, it sits at, I'm just going to use an example, Dean, because you mentioned it, 15.5 range, where you have your optimal performance not too high. Most amps are still okay at that point. We're getting close, but we're at a very high level where we can see it.
Yeah.
And again, I've done it firsthand. I pulled 12,000 watts off a single bank of 45s, which to be honest with you, you can pull up a calculator and check, but it's a ridiculous amperage load. We've maxed out my fluke. And you're talking about you're staying above 13 with that much amperage. How many AGMs would it take to burp from 15.5? Not that AGMs go that high, but say you're at 7. How long
trailer loaded up, right?
You're going to have a bunch of AGMs shaped like beach balls because they're going to be swollen up by that sort of amperage pool. It's just not good for them. So again, you're talking about thousands and thousands of pounds to do anything like that. But you've got LTO cells that are 15 pounds for 6 of them, going to last 15 plus years, 5,000 watts, high output alternator safe, super safe on the lithium scale of as far as energy storage, lithium versus performance versus drawbacks. And it's just, to be honest with you, it's still, and that's what I was mentioning earlier about being a mainstream, being a steady constant in an ever-changing world of lithium technology, where every year somebody comes up with something different. We've got something that isn't changing. It's continuing to stay at the curve. And that's what obviously guys like Big Jeff's team has done, is offered combos with it, show you that, hey, other people may come out with continued options of performance, but we're still constant. We're still showing that 4+ years of technology are still just as good as they ever have been at a performance cost and a customer service to back it up. So
Floyd's got a question, and really, if you have a 320 amp alternator, you run a 16K, I don't think you need that much. I mean, Sean, if I'm wrong, but I mean, I think it'd be fine with 2 banks with no problem for sure, just running a 16K. But Floyd, is there more to the system though, or is it just one 16K amp? What else do you have? But with a 320 amp alternator and 2 banks are strong, that's a lot of power. It also depends what you're using it for. Are you trying to burp? Are you trying to sit there and play? You got to give us a little bit more information to really give you a honest answer.
And something's tough on the amplifier stuff. And I've seen this, and it obviously our salt amps are heavily integrated. But what bothers me sometimes is when somebody who doesn't know very much about their amplifiers, they wanted a good product and they made a good choice. Like, let's say a Salt 4K as a good example. They say, I'm running a 4,000 watt amp, but it's like, are you though? Like 4,000 watts is not 4,000 watts for what I'm thinking. So when somebody says, hey, I've got 1 bank of sales on 4,000 watt amp and I'm dropping, it's like, well, yeah, because it's probably doing 6,000 watts. But I always like to overbuild by about 30 to 40%, especially in a single alternator environment. So generally in a bank like that, to ensure long-term performance and good voltage and good performance, I'm going to sit somewhere in that 3 to 4 banks range, most likely 4. But 3 could probably get away with it. And again, if that amp only does 9K, then we're oversizing. If that amp does 18, then we're kind of playing on that game too.
It's always better oversized anyway. And again, it comes down to size and budget. Jonathan Nash says, what's there between 40 amp and 35 amp? I'm going to give my input. There's really not that much difference. It's so minute. And even right now, if you're all on a budget, the 35s we have left are on crazy deal. Sean, if you disagree, say it, but I don't think there's a huge night and day difference going from the 35.
So the cool thing is on the 35s is when you're just getting close to that, and especially in a time where we're seeing, with the economy doing what it's doing and consumer spending and all this stuff's going on, you can't turn on the TV without hearing about it. And it's like, you're looking for a little more cost savings. The 35 amp hour, and you may want to record this if you're listening to me, takes the same balancer. You can use the Heltec balancer, either option that Jeff's guys offer. You use the same bus bars. You treat them the same as far as charging habits, discharge habits, chargers, all that stuff. They take the same. The cool part I like about the 35s is because they're a lower amp hour, they recharge faster because they're a smaller cell. Now, if you turn your radio on for 6 hours on your ATV, it's going to die quicker than a 40 amp hour bank because it's 35. But you get a better rebound because it's a smaller amp hour cell. Think about it being more nimble in that way. So you kind of get both sides of the coin. So I like the 35. So if I take you down to my Panda right now, I've got 35s in my Panda. So like I said, neither one of them are bad. The 40s are still tanks. The 40s are my favorite all the time because of how long they've been around, what they can do. But the 35s, for what they are a fantastic choice.
Dean, let me ask you, how much power? I mean, because I don't know much about CMAX. How much amp per hour? What do you have in your vehicle?
A 240 amp hour.
That's a lot. Or is it the same kind between his and our?
They kind of count them a little different, but it'll be way bigger than a regular 35 or a 40.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a couple of.
Yeah,
right.
It'll be a good bit of them joined together.
Sean, without you, and I know you don't bash other brands, companies.
No.
I'm saying, Sean, if you were selling against that, how would you tell Dean, hey, these extra
what would be a trade, basically?
Right.
Yeah.
What would we compare to what he has to swap him out?
So, and again, I don't take this personally. You could say, well, hey, where are those specs published for CMAX? Did you call Ford and say, hey, what do y'all CMAX sales rated for? They're going to say, what the hell? They're going to be like, what are you calling me for? There's nothing wrong with those sales. I'm not saying there is, but at the same time, it's like, is there a warranty behind them? What discharge rating are they? What happens most importantly, as we've all looked at, it's like when I'm looking at tires for my truck and it's like, well, how long is one going to last? Is it rugged? Is it performance? Can I last long term? And what happens if they do fail? Do I leave a whole strip of tire laying somewhere, or does it just go down like a normal tire? So there's different things, obviously, and CMAX is good in its own environment. But as far as the chemistry, you can look at recharge, discharge. We can look at long-term lifespan, cost, availability.
Well, costs went up a lot because people, junkyards didn't know what you want them for, right? So you used to get them cheap. And now that they've caught on,
everybody started buying them. Yep, exactly. Right. So everything went up. So, yep.
100%. They started to realize what they're being used for.
I would say that anybody using the CMAX, just use them, just be cautious, be careful, and know what they're capable of if something does happen. And understand it's just like having a big motor. It's just like running 20,000 watts to each one of my subs in my Courier. It's like, hey, when I turn that knob, stuff's gonna get real eventually. That's what's gonna happen. Is you got to be careful. But like I said, and for the guys like you, Dean, who obviously know about Audi, that's great. But I don't recommend to people who
for
are
average user,
for an entry level lithium. It's for somebody who just want to jump into lithium, who wants to understand a little bit. The worst thing that's really going to generally happen to them is their sales are going to leak. They're going to call Jeff pissed off, and Jeff customer service is going to say, "Hey, here's your reason. This is what's going on." They're going to say, "Oh, okay." Not, "Hey, I got to go replace my car because it burned to the ground," or something like that. So, it's an entry level, very user friendly lithium option. And I know
you said, Jeff, you guys do chargers. That's actually a really big thing with any lithium: overcharging, undercharging, just 100%. Terrible maintenance of the battery.
You got like the 1208. You got different amperage.
Does your chargers stop on a specific volt, or you set it, or how do those work?
Yeah, well, you have the chargers that will auto shut off, and then Excess Power also has more like a like the PSC.
I actually use an Excess Power charger myself. Yeah.
Right, which is really cool because you could do it as a power supply, a charger, and then
I got the P60. I think it is the part.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we put two PSC 90s in the Yukon. And you got to be careful because those things will crank up to 17 volts.
Oh, no. Right? Listen, that's why I asked. Trust me, I've exploded my Yinglong doing that.
Excess Power does, it gets there and then it brings it down. Like it does it on purpose, right?
Really?
So I was like, holy crap, right? The first time I was like, whoa, I'm about to ready for this stuff to explode my face. No, it does that. And those things are smart, man. Those chargers are smart.
What's cool about the cells too is we created, basically with the demand of the LTO cells, is that we created a cost-effective charger. And to be honest with you, we wanted to create a cost-effective charger, but we wanted to create something that would decrease the amount of Here's the thing: even if something is a customer's fault, they're still not happy about having to buy a new one. They're not,
Right.
No,
regardless of whose
no.
fault it is.
Now,
Yeah, it doesn't
if
matter.
you're not worried about running it, you want to get Dean one of the LI like the 1208s or the 1214s, and that's just a small lithium charger to maintain it, right? 10, 9, 8 amps, 14 amps, and you don't have to worry about that. It's made just to keep them where they need to be.
Condition the
Okay,
battery,
and we
basically.
sell
Yeah.
a lot of those. They're not that expensive, and they do a great
The
job.
LI 1408 Dean does it shuts off at 15.75, so it literally
Right.
goes up to 15.75 and kicks off.
And that's
And man,
it.
and the cool thing is it comes with alligator clamps. Jeff's crew has them, and they're 8 amp chargers, and they're $100. That's it. Like they ain't like they're
That's it.
expensive, and they're literally like this big. Like they're so
Yeah.
Dude, you put
that's
them in a
really
bag,
good.
man. We sell so many of those. I recommend them. Juan, I didn't forget about you. Juan was up here asking about on the Big Jeff batteries. We're going to be making the 15 above. Juan, the plan for the Big Jeff batteries, one was make an everyday user battery. A guy that has a regular alternator or even upgrade a mech man, doesn't matter, in that 12 to 14, 13.8, that can just take a small Big Jeff battery and really do something. Okay. And if you needed more than 22 amps, you put two together. We want to be in a particular price point. Yeah, later down the road, we will make them a little bigger, but those guys are not going to be buying a little 22 amp battery when they're running 15, 16 volts. They need to get into some lithium banks. The Big Jeff battery was
Juan, I
designed.
think, yes.
Yeah, the Big Jeff battery was designed to just be the everyday guy thrown in the
Plug and
system,
play.
having
Yeah.
some power issues, and
Well-
this was a very small, great way under $500 to really make a difference. Okay.
And I hate even calling it entry level because that thing has so much R&D behind it and so much thought. It's so advanced. It's proprietary in its case.
And bring that back up while he's explaining it, and we'll
You know,
get it out of the way.
It
No, bring up the battery so everybody can see it for people that are new in here. Why Sean's talking about it.
the reason why I wait till it pulls up. So
There
the
you
reason
go.
why it's so impressive is, I mean, even it's and one of we've talked about, it's the small things on a battery that people don't think about why you buy from somebody like you do. Like Jeff, for example, if you look at the case, like the box it comes in, it is in a very heavy foam package that's extremely resilient to any sort of damage, very similar to like our Tight Knit series comes in. It's logoed on the outside. You can tell by the physical size, it's tiny. It's just very easy to fit. It can be put beside a box in a trunk car. It can put in a hatch car. It can be laid on its side. The terminals have a divider between them. They're nice, heavy-duty terminals. There's just a lot of things with this battery that you can clearly see that is not just, let's just drop cells in a case and call it our own. This is a proprietary from every single step creating this battery. So not that I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the entry level, and an entry level person can use this, but I don't want to call it entry level because
and it was really just 5,000 watts, right? And if you got more than that, you add a second one. And the cool thing about this, you just add a second one, positive, negative, and you do it. Tow Goat, can it be wired with AGM? Great question, because you like to put AGM under the hood. Sean, no problems at all adding this in with an AGM under the hood.
So I like to put an isolator in between there, and I'll tell you why. An isolator, because basically your lithiums, and it's something you'll see too, is that the lithiums will sit at 13.2, 13.3, 13.4, but then AGM will sit at 12.7, 12.6, and not necessarily as big of a deal with a very high quality AGM, but what you run into in just your general everyday people is that they'll throw this battery in using 4 gauge, and they will hook it up to a sealed lead acid from 2004, and that battery will be at 11.3, and it'll pull that poor lithium down every chance it gets. See,
if you've upgraded your under the hood with a excess power battery that's in good condition, no problem. If you're trying to add that to a diehard that already looks like it's 5 years old, no, you'll probably run into some stuff. But
run an isolator on it, you're good.
Yeah, separate. But always start, even with the Big Jeff battery, once you're buying, but always upgrade your under the hood first. That should be your first step always. Okay. Any car I get, first thing I want to do is upgrade those. All right. That's your first step. Deviant says Big Jeff got to do full tutorial video on how to install. 100%. Actually, Sean. All right. So I never claimed to be a YouTuber, right? And that was part of the whole come clean thing and everything else. I just do it to market the company and get the word out there. But I want to become a YouTuber. I actually started setting up with SPL Labs. I got a full setup on the bench. We built a rack to mount subwoofers for flex test, and we are getting a SMD, the big boy coming in that's being built here. We're in line. So yes, you're right, Deviant. We're going to do an install. We're going to show how to properly hook it up. We're going to talk about how to crimp ring terminals and everything else. A good idea, and we will definitely do it. And I will make sure you make the music for it. I'm going to be excited. Tri-State Autos. I have a 250 amp alternator with a big 3. I added a big AGM battery. My amp clips out when I turn my radio up to 20. Should I add another battery? I think you got other problems there first.
I agree.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and
we-
two on that
yeah.
setup is that one is where's the amp settings at? Two, where's your
Correct.
radio settings, like your sub level?
What's it tuned to? Exactly. Yep.
And not to mention 3, I would like to look at that alternator because just because somebody says they're 250 amps,
It's
is not
250. Exactly.
100%. And you could do that with a clamp meter. There's a bunch of ways you could do it. Some of the SMD products. Kyle Carroll, how many watts is an 80 amp excess power good sell for? Ooh, good question. So you're talking 80 amp. Let's say 2 banks.
5,000 watts a piece on the 40s within reason. Now, that's a musical daily load with a good quality alternator. If we're talking about we got a 370 under there, we may be more. If we're talking about we got a stock that's 90, it may be a little bit less because, again, the battery's an energy storage device. We're going to eventually drain that. So we both got to look at that too. I would say somewhere in the 8 to 10,000 watt range for an 80.
Go ahead, Dean. I see you biting at the bit there. Go ahead.
Yeah. One thing that a lot of people kind of mistaken too when it comes to alternators, people always think bigger is better, or they don't understand their actual idles on the car and the difference between cars. So like for me, perfect example, I have a Honda Civic. It does not idle high. So doing a 320, a 370, a 400 is not a great idea for a little car doing a little bit of idle.
You know what? That's what I'm going to say I like about MechBand. The first thing they ask you when you buy an alternator, and they even make sure we double check with the customers, because they want to change the pulley. Okay.
Correct.
And you're right. When you have a car like that doesn't idle high, Tony told me sometimes it's better to get a lower amperage alternator.
Yep.
Okay. Now let me explain why. And it made total sense. Because everybody wants the biggest alternator,
The
but you don't
biggest,
realize
biggest cells, yeah.
a smaller amp alternator at lower
Lower idle, basically, yeah.
you a higher amperage. When you have a larger one, you have to have more revolutions. You have to have a higher speed.
Way more.
To get there. So he was very clear. When you have a car that's going to be sitting idling for show type, you preferably want a little bit smaller. You don't want to go 3 above. You want to go smaller, and you get more amperage out of it. Second thing is MechBand has it. The chart we always check with them is the pulley, because you get you change the pulley, you change the revolutions.
Yeah, you get more out of it. Shorter pulleys.
These are great. These are quite. T. Corley, can I do a lithium with 140 amp alternator running 4,000?
Yes.
Well, you can do a lithium for sure. There's got to be more to that question, Corey. Are we talking cells? What if you want to comment back? My team will put it back up. They give us a little more information so we get to it. Sean, I got a question for you. Can you provide, give us some give us some tips on the best practices for installing these cells when people are buying them from us and putting it together? I mean, do you have any input to say, hey, first timers?
Oh yeah. I could board the paint off the wall. What I was going to say is that one, we publish a list of steps, general assembly instructions to kind of give you an idea, like, make sure your cells are passively balanced first. I'll go down the list. I just kind of have it memorized. So we'll just kind of do a quick 1 minute TikTok short. We're going to go out and TikTok short. So, get your cells out, make sure they're signed, no damage in the boxes. If you got a cell that's busted to the side, it looks like Wolverine, call Jeff's crew, let them know, you got a cell messed up. Begin that process. Everything looks good. Pull them out, check their voltages, immediately put them in parallel all together. So you got 6 cells, all the positives on one side, all the negatives on the other. Connect them all together. It makes it so much easier in the long run. Usually I give mine a day or two, let them balance out, let them get real close, and then begin the assembly process. Basically what you'll do is you'll use all the links and connectors provided by the Jeff Crew in the combo, and you'll just and the biggest thing I would tell you to do is when you're assembling those, go slow, take your time. If you got questions, ask. Don't just start assembling and thinking and then you end up calling Jeff saying, hey, where can I buy these cells? What you'll have is you'll go slow and don't over torque them. People torque the piss out of these. There's no reason to. It's barely overheating. It's 7 nanometers. It's ridiculous. It's like less than a foot-pound. It's something ridiculous. It's barely over hand tight. And go ahead, connect them all similar. And then when all they're connected, then install your balancer after everything's all parallel. Basically, your initial parallel, your passive balancing, has allowed all those cells to get similar so that balancer is not working its butt off trying to get everything lined up. Once you're done with that, once everything is lined up, everything looks good, check all your connections. I throw a very, 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 and I mean this very lightly, so I don't want to see an email about, oh, you told me to gauss my cell in super glue. I mean, just a dab. I mean, just like a piece out.
Just to lock it like Loctite, right? Yeah,
like something like or something. Keep it from backing off because they're so loose. I do that on my own cells, and then you just pretty much just flick it off if you ever need to take it off. So check everything, and then hook up your LI 1408 or whatever, and let it charge up. Keep an eye on it. Keep that charger on it for about, I'd say 30 minutes to an hour, because what you're going to see is that balancer, as they've all charged up, that balancer is working to bring everything even. So that general voltage level is going to drop the first time more than it ever will.
We get all the time, Shawn. They're impatient, and then they're calling you like, oh, all of them at 2.3, but one's at 2.1. It's a bad cell. I'm like, no, slow down. You got to be patient. Let them balance out. It doesn't happen instantly. And the more time you give, just like breaking in a sub, the better off long term. Okay. Exactly. So you all have to understand, you're excited. The package comes, you got the Big Jeff tape on there, you got the swag in there, you're ripping everything out, and you're like, man, I'm putting these things together right now, and I'm throwing in my car. Relax. You just made a big investment. It's not going to kill you to spend an extra hour or two, like he said. Let them bounce out, charge them up fully. I guarantee that's going to make a big difference.
Absolutely.
And you won't have to be calling 737 Big Jeff, cussing us out, telling us we suck and we're selling you bad shit.
Or emailing Shawn saying, you sent me to Jeff, he sold me bad sales.
Yeah.
But so what happened, and thing is, what I like to do is when I install anything, and again, this is in my own setups now, I'll take it out there and I'll beat the crap out of it for about 30 minutes. And I'll constantly be taking my heat or taking my radar gun or just with my hand and checking temperature on everything. Okay, why is this stud getting so hot compared to everything else? Start, kind of troubleshooting, making sure everything's good. And then every couple of minutes, checking everything. Just go through, check all your connections. Again, your base is vibrating everything. Things come loose. If your crap is moving your cup holder, your nuts are spinning back off. Like, it's the same idea down the road as everything starts getting loose, and the loose studs can cause failures and venting and stuff like that. People don't realize it. But that would be my initial thing, is kind of just continuing that maintenance. Don't let them sit long term. Don't, like, for example, don't get them under the hood. They're not under the hood safe. They're not meant to go under the hood. Let me say it again. They're not meant to go under the hood.
Wait, we got John Kent in the house. Hey, John. Mr. Made of Steel, Mr. Florida Lifted. Real question for Mr. Mayo. Jeep guys want to know. Okay, this is going to be good. Still got the Jeep. What numbers are you doing these days?
So I knew John was going to bring that up. I knew he was. So I actually sold the Jeep to a friend of mine. His name is Walt Johnson. It has the same 26 by 14s on it. It looks like a big rubber band mobile. It's beautiful. Walt's done a fantastic job in it. It's got Sundown in it. He's done a great job. I think he's obviously got John's Rogue stuff in it too. If you see him at a show, go look at it. Walt's done a great job on it. It's beautiful. It's just as beautiful as when I had it. As far as my numbers, I'm the Super Street 1-2 world or national champion in the United States.
Nice. Listen, we're going to probably go over a little bit. First night ever going over, but I'm having a good time. What I want to do is take a quick break. We're going to come back real quick, still with Shawn. I want to give this little video here from my co-host, Mr. Dean Baptiste. We'll be right back. If you haven't commented the word amp hours, do it now, because we're going to pick a winner. We have a lot of stuff to announce here still. We have some time left. We have the some sponsorships to announce and some other stuff. So stay with us. We're going to take a quick video break. I got my co-host Dean Baptiste in the house ready for this weekend. And I got my man Shawn Mayo, and we're talking about lithium. We'll be right back.
Musical war-based battle and car show. November 11 and 12, meet Big Jeff and Team Big Jeff. Be there and see all the amazing cars with incredible sound systems, enjoy some of the best food you'll ever taste, and check out some of the exotic vehicles there. Come by and have a great time. Did I mention amazing cars? Check this out. musical war-based battle and car show, November 11 and 12, will be in Apopka, Florida.
Talk, because if you got a way to display the Big Jeff, I want to get a couple in there and we get enough to make sure it does what you need. We definitely got to talk about that. Listen, let's do this first before we get too late. Y'all entered in to win a 35 amp bank of cells at 6 cells. We'll ship them to you. I do recommend spend a couple bucks, get the bus bars and the balancer for sure, and always a lithium battery charger. But if you already have that, perfect, some cells, or you can add into your system. Let's go ahead and let my team pick out one of the winners, and Shawn will let you announce the winner of the 35 amp cells. Who do we got?
Josh King.
Josh King, congratulations. You are a winner of a nice giveaway, 35 amp, which is incredible. 6 cells. That will get you 2.3 times 6 will get you over 12 volts. And if you don't have a system, you know where you can come, bigjeffaudio.com. But once you get set up, just contact 737 Big Jeff. Man, this has been fun tonight, and it's crazy because time has flown by. We've had a great amount of people in here. If you're just coming in and you're not seeing comments, it's because everybody is in the new YouTube. I wanted to separate the podcast to make it easier for everybody. That is Big Sound by Big Jeff, and that's where we're going to be doing these from now on every Tuesday at 7:30. We've moved it around to accommodate everybody. Dean, real quick, what can we in store this weekend? People are going to come if they're in Central Florida, South Florida, North Florida, or make the trip. Why would they make the trip out to Apopka?
Because I'm there, number one. Other than that, honestly, we got cars coming from the Virgin Islands. We got cars coming from New York, Philly, Houston, Atlanta. Cars are traveling from all over the different parts of the states and islands. And it's something different. If you're interested in music, excess power from the batteries to the sundown subs to whatever you like, we have it. Beautiful cars, music, amazing food. We got island food, Spanish food. We try to mix it up. So trust
the weather's been nice, right? We've been
the weather seems.
Well, you're waking up to 50s and it's been getting up in the 80s. So beautiful weather.
It's a beautiful weather.
Dry, right. We got a couple of things too, and you guys can help me out, and we can see if we have a little more time.
Thank you, Robin.
We will. We were doing the Black Diamond. Everybody knows Big Jeff Audio has been running with the Black Diamond car audio for a while. We want to get more out. Hey Ben, if you have the picture of the Wagoneer, pull that up. I don't know. I last minute. My guys here, the Stair Shop's been doing all my work. We took the Macintosh system that comes in that Wagoneer and actually integrated that into the box, which really came out nice. That actually works also. We did 3 of the 2,000 watt, 1,000 watt RMS 12-inch subs and 2 amps. Probably people are going to cuss me out here. We did one side of the coils on 1 amp, the other side, which you can do, and we line matched it, and it sounds incredible. But we did run a sponsorship because we want to get some more of the Black Diamond out there, and you can compete with this. So we did pick out some winners. Ben, you want to bring them up? And Dean, if you want to announce some winners, that would be great.
Jason Massey.
Okay, Jason Massey, congratulations. He's got a build going on there. We're going to be supplying him with some equipment. That is awesome. And we had one more. Yep, there you go.
Brandon Banks, he don't need it.
Okay, Brandon, kind of crazy. He's got a lot of good equipment in there. I'm actually happy to see SG is going to be swapping that out big time.
That's dope.
I can tell you won't
looks
be
clean too.
Yeah, it does, man. So I'm excited for that. Shawn, tell me, you've been with Excess Power for how long?
I think officially almost 5 years.
Right. So, with Excess Power definitely taking over Sundown and the full tilt wire, what do you, if you were to explain the culture of the company, how would you explain it?
So Excess Power, the important thing to kind of keep in mind is that Excess Power and Sundown are under the same umbrella, like sister companies. Think about it like Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Same idea. They're under the same cover. So like, for example, Excess is not combined, like they're not smashed together. They're kind of under the same umbrella of companies, like mother companies, but they're not the same company. Obviously, the culture at XS is not a party, of course, but we're very down to earth. We love technology. We've got a burnout box outside. We've got a lot of different stuff we enjoy doing. We love racing. One of our guys is a professional race car driver or dirt track driver. We have a guy that's really good in marine and power sports. We have myself who does audio. We have a guy that does like the old hot rod stuff. Obviously, Scotty is an ex-world champion in audio. I call him Hall of Famer. Old Hall of Famer himself who knows audio. As far as Sundown side goes, obviously you guys know Derek Haddock. He's been a long-time member of Sundown, I think, since the very beginning, to be honest. Those guys are all about SPL and making lighter score possible. And obviously Jacob Fuller, the mad scientist, it's all about making new stuff. And every week I'm like, dang, Jacob, just bought something else. Like every week it's like something new comes out that I didn't know was coming. I'm like, dang, Jake, you got to slow down for a little bit. Like my firm only goes so far. So that's kind of where, like I said, kind of the culture is a constant learning and just constantly beginning about learning new things. And to be honest with you, the culture is just really good all across it. Full tilt's a little bit smaller. It's obviously not as big as Sundown or Excess Power, but it has some very grassroots. The quality is really good. Obviously, you guys sell the crap out of it. You guys.
Oh man, yeah, the quality is great. The colors are beautiful. Hands down, it's in the right pricing, and I haven't had a complaint. Never had a complaint. Period. Okay, nobody's ever complained about any of the wire. The only complaints we get is that, unfortunately, we're still running out. And part of it was Full Tilt was telling, same thing when Big Jeff comes on. I try to do things big. People aren't ready for that, and we'll get that up and running. But yeah, it's a trifecta. It's a big family. There's a lot of there's a lot of brains behind it all, having everybody involved. And that's a big thing, man, big time. We also have we got a huge, we get ready for Black Friday, and unlike some people out there that take pictures of other people's warehouse or what, we're packed to the hilt. We got another warehouse that we're having to move stuff over to even make room. But Deathbound's big brand for us too. 24 pallets full truck. I always try to give stuff away. I told everybody, if you could guess how much the order was, nearest the dollar without going over, they'd win a unit and radar detector or one of the ones we sell, and swag pack. So Ben, let's bring up, or Taylor, what was the total for the order? Our cost.
Give me 1 second to pull it up again.
And then Ben, do you have pictures of that, or do we have even a snippet of it? Okay, don't worry about it.
The total was $292,380.11.
Well, I hope I sell all that over Black Friday, but that'd be great. Okay, but who was the winner? Who came the closest without going over that won a radar detector? Tim Osborne. Congratulations. He guessed $269,440. You were the closest without going over. Contact 737 Big Jeff. Ali Big B there will get you set up. You are a winner. Thank you so much. It was fun to do that. Shawn, while we got a couple more minutes, is there something new coming with Excess Power? Or sometimes you don't fix unless it's broken, but is there something on the horizon that they're working on that you could talk about?
Not that I can talk about.
Okay.
There's a couple things coming that diversifies our offerings as far as into like solar and RV technology and boats and all the other things.
And while you're talking, get the picture ready of the new Sundown driver. This is a perfect night to let everybody know because it's actually something big. Go ahead, Shawn. We're going to bring up the new driver from Sundown, which is totally something new, right?
Yeah.
I think we're probably the first one with it ready to sell. That's something new that we could talk about from Sundown. Ben, as soon as you got it ready, bring her up. Shawn, I'm guessing though you have an R&D for Excess Power. Is the new wave going to be the e-cars or what? Or where does it go?
To be honest with you, it's like anything else. And I'm part of the R&D stuff. And the cool thing about being here is that I take suggestions from guys like yourself and Dean and Taylor and people and say, hey, what do you like most? What do you not like? What do you rather have? Basically cost analysis, different things. Tell me how I can make it better. Tell me how I can sell more of it. Tell me how I can make you more money and make my customers happy. That's kind of the end game. So looking at that, we're constantly developing stuff. We're constantly making improvements in V1s, V2s, V3s, V4s, and those things. So like I said, I've got some stuff coming out in the next 6 months that are going to be extremely, extremely sought after, that are going to not, I'm going to say sound cocky, but they're going to change in the way that our LTO stuff is looked at as far as a box version. So I'm excited for it. We've definitely got some good stuff coming out that I can obviously discuss a little more later.
Right. Ben, you got that ready? No. Well, the part number was what was the part number, Shawn?
He's got it. I sent it to him.
He's got it. Okay. All right. We'll pop it up. So this is something brand new from Sundown, actually, that is available to purchase. I think it's a big deal because ain't this like the first of like a driver?
I don't see
Shawn, Sundown's not ready or hasn't had like drivers like this, right?
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I was thinking.
You're getting a blank. No, yeah. I was saying, hell yeah, right here. Available right now on our website. SPEH-04. It is a 3-inch horn, 100 watts, 4 ohm.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's big in person too. It does not do it any justice when you see a master carton of it. You're like, holy crap, it's so much bigger. And for the cost of it, with a $50 retail point,
right. It might be something for you, Mr. Dean, but yeah, they're available right now on the website. Ben, somebody can throw a link up here in the comments so people can take a look at it. We have them right now. You can order them up. I want to say we're probably one of the first with it, which is awesome. Always being the first. And new product for Sundown, and you heard it first here, so that's really cool. Dean, co-host, we're gonna be hanging out this weekend, right? We're gonna be.
We sure will. We gotta get some videos so you can put it up on your next podcast.
Right, 100%, man. We're gonna take some real good videos. So when we come, people that have seen us, we come with the whole crew, man. I bring all the employees. We have 4 or 5 guys running around with actual video cameras and GoPros. And last show we're at there for Mr. Kent, we had I brought the DJ drone and we're doing it big. We got trailer loaded up with Big Jeff giveaway stuff. You come, all we ask for is you to like, follow, or leave us a review or something, and we'll make sure you walk away with stuff. And then we have some higher end stuff if you want to buy. But everything else is free, man. We're not there. We're there to give out, spread the name, and hopefully you become part of the Big Jeff platform. Dean was
bring up too.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Something else I wanted to bring up too about, when you look at who you're buying from, as far as, people who stock the inventory, people who walk the walk, let's be honest, people who do a large amount of stock, who buy aggressively to give you opportunities to save aggressively, to make sure you get the product the quickest way. We beat this horse to death. But something important too is to realize that just because new products come out, and we've all seen this, doesn't mean they sell super fast. So stuff like the SDEH, the reason why you buy from somebody like the Big Jeff crew, for just anybody listening, to be honest with you, I know Allie's about to laugh when I tell this. But when you guys buy on the very cutting edge of a new product, sometimes it takes a while. So getting that freshest product, because every time you and I talk, Jeff, we talk about a new product. Okay, let's get 24 of them on the way, like these SDHs. Let's buy a couple of cases of them. Let's get them here. Let's start looking. And you always staying on the curve. So if you want the freshest inventory, if you want the newest stuff, you go to people who buy it the newest, buy it right at the first cusp. And that's like what you guys do. And that's a big deal, because then Allie's like, when did we buy this? Talking to me. I'm like, that's something new, Allie. We haven't talked about this one yet.
It's what Shawn, you hit the nail on the head. When I started this company, DSAT, all the brands, most of the time we had it in hand and up before the manufacturer had it up, because one thing we do is we do this every day. It happens to DSAT all the time. Stuff comes in, we have it up online before they do. And because we're so close where we're positioned, I'll get stuff. Same thing, Def Bounce. You'll see it, and next you know, it's ready for sale. So I kind of take pride in that, and I like to be that guy that does get it first. I like to be that leader, and it's nothing more. It's not about being a big head. It's like I want people to know when they come to Big Jeff, and if they hit car audio, drop down, view all, and they go from newest to oldest, they're going to see new stuff up there every time. All right. And lately we've been launching brand after brand, and I don't even know where I'm going to put this stuff. I'm going to start leaving it at my house, I guess. And we actually have a couple other brands we're going to be announcing here in the next couple of weeks that are already done in effect, and, stick along. So we appreciate everybody being a part of the Big Jeff platform. We try to give back as much as we can. Any chance we have. We try to respond to every comment. hashtag. Let me tell you, we have a full team there that does this, and I tell them we gotta, even if it's a thumbs up and okay, thank you. I want everybody to know, man. Let me tell you, I try to respond as much as I can personally. I don't think people really understand how big we are or what we really do. You see the lives, you see the walkthroughs, but being in there is totally different. And we take pride in trying to get back as much as we can. And some people can't make happy no matter what, but 99% we're there. And like going to these shows now, you have no idea the cost, the putting it together to bring 12 to 16 employees and multiple vehicles and tents and everything else, and then set up to give away thousands of dollars of product. But we do that to give back, to say, hey, be a part of this platform, and we're always going to look out for our customers big time.
Well, you guys have done it. You guys have done it with Nashville around the DB Drag for Chris Gregory area in Tennessee.
Yeah. Even if we can't go there, we try to send stuff out, be a part of it, which is big. We even have some customers now going to shows and passing out stuff. And man, that's the way I wanted to build a company, man. I wanted to build a company off real talk, real life. The comment earlier with the new gentleman, I forgot his name, but saying he's glad to hear all this crap is over with, and it is. And I'm glad to see you guys on here. Robin Williams, you have the best customer service. Thank you. You're just kissing up to Allie McBee there. I know you. But thank you. I got customers like Robin that send stuff like this. I got Tri-State that sent me the Nike sneakers, which I saw a comment. I saw it, Tri-State. I didn't forget you. I'm so afraid to get them dirty, but you know what? I might wear them there to Dean's big party this weekend. We got the Sundown 18 XS sneakers, and I'm just so afraid to get them dirty. You know what I'm saying? So
that's pretty
maybe
dope.
Yeah, it's real dope, man. Big time, man. And he decorated the box and everything. You know, it was crazy.
I do have one concern though I'd like to bring up.
Yeah.
Why is your chain different looking than mine, Taylor's, and Ben's?
Well, I have one of those.
Explain that one. Oh yeah, excuses. Show me the other one.
A little bit different.
That one's heavier, ain't it?
Right. Yeah, it's a lot heavier. It makes a different sound. But because I can't afford to give all these out, I made sure we have thousands of right? And
I'll tell you what. Give me one of those. I'll wear it all the time.
Yeah, I bet you would. Sean's always trying to get
mine. Sean, I think we should get. I think he should sponsor us with one of those. I'm just saying.
Big Jeff battery. I had to buy 1,000 batteries to get them here at the right price point. So let me get through some of those first and get that thing. We'll talk about it more for sure.
What's funny is
definitely of these though. I don't have my glasses here. Where are the Big Jeff glasses and pinky rings? But
I remember, Jeff, when we first talked about the chain before it even became a thing, because you were like, hold on a minute, let's go look online for 1,000 gold chains. Right. I remember that conversation. And now I'm like, damn, he owes me a real one. Like, I feel like I should have got a commission on it.
Hold on. What's this one right here? Listen, everybody, thank you so much, man. Making this another great episode. If you haven't done it, make sure you like the video, share it out. We always upload it. It'll be on Spotify. We have blogs on Big Jeff Audio. If you came in late, we're going to be having, starting next week, a drop down year, make, model. You'll be able to match stuff for your vehicle, man. We're doing so much. I'm so thankful, man. It's crazy. I even had some of y'all know B2 Audio, Jay out this weekend, flew over here from Vegas to spend time with me, and he was blown away. Like, you don't really understand the Big Jeff Audio operation until you're there. And man, just thank you to everybody. Thank you to Sean, get me a part of Sundown Audio, Excess Power, Full Tilt. Dean co-hosting tonight with me, getting ready for this big, huge party we're about to have this weekend. We're coming out strong. I hope to see everybody there. And if you're not there, we will be taking videos, pictures. We will make it like you were there. And we do it every time. We don't delay. We have stuff out, man. We're always, we got to get it done, man. So thank you so much. Congratulations to the winners tonight. And man, thank you for everybody, man. This has been great. This was a good time. It was nice to have a good podcast again with a lot of people in here. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you to my team, Taylor the Hair, my online manager, Ben Jammin, who does most of the video editing of my videos, and Allie McBee here, shy as could be, but she's really not, and she is our customer service manager. We got Dean in the house, Shawn Mayo, and all the usual suspects. Thank you so much. Check out the new Sundown driver on Big Jeff Audio website. If you haven't bought a Big Jeff battery, will be shipping here within a couple weeks. So get on board now. Stay tuned. We have 40 amp and 45 amp cells ready right now. Go there. You can pick out how many cells you want, 6, 12 on up. You can pick what bus bars you want, and then you can pick out if you want the balancer. We make a package for you. You don't even have to think. You just have to get it. And then listen to my man, Shawn. Ben, I want to cut the video of him explaining how to hook these up, and we're going to separate that. And I think we put that on the website for everybody to know. Don't just jump on it. Don't just throw it in there. Take your time. Get it done right. Dean, thank you so much tonight, and everybody else. I'm Big Jeff, signing off. Another one down in the book. We'll see you next week with episode 27. Who do we have next week? Who do we have?
Vortex Radar.
Vortex radars, yeah.
Okay, again, big sound by Big Jeff. I hooked up because we do sell, Shawn, I don't know if you know, we sell Uniden, a model that we sold over 16,000 last year. And then I got hooked up with a company called Redenzo. They came out to visit. We wrote $500,000 in POs of just radar detectors. We're selling these things like crazy. So I met up with a guy named Vortex, has a huge YouTube, and all he does is review radar detectors. And I mean, he drives the car. The guy's crazy. So he'll be on next week, something different for everybody. Check it out next Tuesday, 7:30. I'm Big Jeff. We're signing off. Y'all have a good night, man. We'll see you soon.
Peace.
Another show in the bag, yeah, that's a wrap. Big Sound is the best, and it ain't no cap. Hit the website if you need that merch. It's Big Jeff Audio and hit the search. I know you had fun, yeah, you gotta admit it. That boy Big Jeff took his thing and he did it. Always a win, yeah, never a L. Did you smash the like, subscribe, and hit the bell? Share it on your socials, put it on blast. We'll be back next week with another podcast. Big Sound in the house, like no other. Deviant and Big Jeff.